Okay, Dr. Michael Valentine here again. Today what I want to do is talk about, it's kind of like part two of the autoimmune component, because if you have a thyroid problem, whether it is the hypothyroid, which is the most common thyroid issue, let's make sure that it has been ruled out. Autoimmunity. And again, autoimmunity is the key. Now, if you have hypothyroidism, you can eventually have the autoimmune component. Just because you're on a thyroid replacement hormone like levothyroxine, Synthroid, Armour Thyroid, or possibly Nature-Throid, doesn't mean that your thyroid's really being fixed. All it means is that really that TSH is being addressed. And again, that stands for thyroid stimulating hormone. So when we have an autoimmune situation, that's always going to take precedence. So when we have that autoimmune component, we got to look at, well, why is that occurring and what needs to be addressed to kind of put out the fire, because that's what really an autoimmune scenario is that there's a raging fire going on within the body. And we know that if you have one autoimmunity in your body, typically speaking, you have other autoimmune conditions. What that means is that the brain could be attacked, the skin could be attacked. When we talked about the skin being attacked, what could exist there? Well, we could have eczema, we could have psoriasis, we can have different issues. If the brain is attacked, God forbid, now we're talking about neurodegenerative disorders, maybe Parkinson's, maybe early dementia. Brain fog is really, truly an early condition that something is not right. So we don't want to overlook these different things and say, oh, well, it's just no big deal, it's just a symptom. Symptoms are the body's way of saying, okay, you better address this now because it's going to turn into something bigger later. So if we have a hypothyroid issue, we better have ruled out the autoimmune component. If we have an autoimmune thyroid, and remember again from that my last talk that the two antibodies that are typically addressed for hypothyroid is TPO and TGB. But then you can, if the thyroid is running hyper, which is below that below 0.45, then we got to run the hyperthyroid or Graves' disease antibody. So if we have that autoimmune condition, we need to address it. How do we address it? We're going to have to look at adjusting different things. Gluten, no gluten in the diet, okay? No dairy in the diet. None of the genetic modifications like the wheat, the soy, the corn, and sometimes across contaminants, which are really critical. So what we typically do is we get the individual on the glutathione, nebulized glutathione, to build up the blood-brain barrier. That's huge because glutathione is one of the most powerful antioxidants in the body. It's actually 1,000 times stronger than vitamin C, and you're aware, obviously, of vitamin C and the key things of vitamin C, but also other issues as far as good quality fish oils. A lot of people take fish oils nowadays because we know about the cardiovascular effects, we know about the brain, but understand that 70% of the fish oils are rancid. So that's a real key thing. And then we have EPA, we have DHA. So what are we looking for? Well, the DHA is going to be a different part of the body versus the EPA. So we look at the combinations of that. Other thing is vitamin D is really important. So to kind of rehash that, what are we going to look at? We got to rule out autoimmunity. We have to run the TPO, TGB, and possibly if your thyroid's running below the 0.45, TSH wise, then we got to run the Graves or the hyperthyroid antibodies. And in the aspect of prevention, high vitamin D level, glutathione, as well as the fish oils. Those are the key things to put out the inflammation. This is Dr. Michael saying, hope you enjoyed this, and please comment. You can always contact us at 714-964-9566, and our Facebook page for the thyroid is SoCal Thyroid Doc. Thanks.